안녕하세요. Riding on the Korean wave. Welcome to Friday's edition of The Culture Wave. I'm Kwon So-hwa in Seoul. Explore with us Korea's culture from all aspects and stay up to date with K-entertainment, K-travel, K-sports, K-everything. And all of that together with our Friday co-host, Bella Kim. Hello, Bella.
Hi, So-hwa. Happy Friday, So-hwa.
Happy Friday and happy White Day, actually.
Oh, happy White Day. And hello, happy Friday to all the viewers joining us today. I'm Bella here to co-host again and fill you guys in with the latest in K-entertainment.
And we're also joined by our Arirang news features reporter An Sung-jin. Hello, Sung-jin.
Hi, Sung-jin.
Hello, guys. Happy Friday to all of our viewers. My name is An Sung-jin, and I'm a news features reporter here again with more exciting news.
All right, and maybe we need a quick explanation of what White Day is. In Korea, you give candy on this day, usually the males to the females. We're all females here, so we have no candies for each other, I guess. But maybe I have something for you. Anyways, we're not going to talk about the candy or White Day today with Sung-jin, but you are going to introduce us a very special means of travel. So what is it about?
Absolutely, that's right. So a common way to think about travel is by plane, train, or car. But today I want to introduce you to something special. I want to share another method that would allow you to not only experience Korea, but also to take a look at the coastal cities and their culture as well. A 78,000-ton cruise ship with more than 2,000 passengers glides into port. This cruise has come from Japan and has arrived at its first stop in South Korea, the south coast city of Yeosu. Yeosu City Hall aims to provide a glimpse of Korean culture through such traditional performances and show unique aspects of the city as it looks to brand itself as a new cruise destination. As soon as visitors finish their customs checks, they are greeted by Korean snacks, jewelry, and craft work. And for those looking to explore the city even further, a shuttle bus takes them around for free.
Every time we pulled into a port, like today here in South Korea, we were met with wonderful performances, and we found everyone to be very welcoming. We really appreciate the shuttles, and it really helps us to see and to navigate easily.
From must-visit places such as the Isunsin Plaza and its replica historical turtle ship, to the beauty of Odongdo Island or the ocean cable car, the city has plenty for tourists to see and do. After the excitement of Yeosu City, these passengers will head to their next stop in Korea.
Well, we're pretty old hats at this, so we've been doing it this is probably our 12th cruise. Oh, just enjoying this area right here. We really don't know much about, was it Yeosu? Yeosu? Yeah, I don't really know much about that, but we're looking forward to Jeju tomorrow.
To accommodate all the tourists, the city provides administrative support, including temporary currency exchange and tourism information centers, as well as interpreters and tour guides.
With more cruise visitors, whether it's shopping or dining, the local economy of Yeosu is becoming more active. I think this will be an opportunity to improve its brand image and further promote itself, which is why we are putting a lot of attention and support into these MICE and cruise businesses.
The city is expecting to welcome another 6 cruises this year, carrying a total of 10,000 tourists as it looks to put itself on the map as a cruise destination.
Looks very exciting, Sung-jin, and I like the idea that we have this cruise ship in Yeosu because as we saw in the interview, many foreigners are not really aware of the city of Yeosu, but maybe other places like Jeju Island or Busan, right?
Right. It looks very interesting.
There's a lot.
So, Sung-jin, right?
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, which is why I wanted to ask you before. Have you guys been on a cruise before?
Oh. I might have when I was little, but to be honest, I can't recall right now.
I have not been on a cruise. I'm pretty sure I haven't been on a cruise because I love everything about the cruise, you know, the food and all the activities. But I have seasick, I get seasick, so, you know, I haven't been on one
A critical factor, right. I'm kind of similar on the side with Hoa because I remember I've vaguely been on a cruise before when I was really young. And my parents have told me that you've been on a cruise traveling around Nordic countries in Europe, but I don't really recall so much. So this experience actually made me want to be on a cruise a little bit more.
I see. And Seongjin, as well as these cruise terminals in Yeosu City, there are a couple of more ports or cruise terminals that stop in Korea, right?
Right, absolutely. There are several ports within Korea, but this article that I focused on is mostly about the Yeosu terminal and what it has to offer. But obviously, there are other destinations in Korea, including Busan and Incheon. Both are also destinations not only for international cruises, but also for those who would like to catch a cruise or a ferry and travel domestically.
Well, it sounds very exciting. Thank you very much, Seongjin, for that report. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Seongjin.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
And now time for some K-entertainment news with Bella Kim. Bella, today we start off with a controversy that surrounds actor Kim Soo-hyun.
This week, there has been a controversy going on surrounding relationship allegations between actor Kim Soo-hyun and the late actress Kim Sae-ron. With the growing controversy, Kim Soo-hyun's agency, gold medalist, initially announced it would issue a formal statement next week, but Kim Soo-hyun showed severe symptoms of psychological instability, so they urgently decided to make the statement today. The statement said that Kim Soo-hyun and Kim Sae-ron were in a relationship for 1 year, from the summer of 2019 to fall of 2020. This would mean that Kim Sae-ron was not a minor at the time of their relationship, different from the claim that Kim Sae-ron's family made through YouTube channel Hover Lab. They said the two were in a relationship since 2015, when Kim Sae-ron was a minor for 6 years. Now, as public sentiment continued to sour, several brands featuring Kim Soo-hyun as a commercial model have begun adjusting their marketing strategies or closely monitoring this issue.
Well, please keep us updated on this issue, Bella. And now let's move on to the next story. We have a K-pop group that's set a great achievement.
That is correct. We're going to talk about ENHYPEN. ENHYPEN have achieved their first triple million seller album since their debut. According to the Circle chart on Thursday, the group's second full-length album, Romance Untold, released in July of last year, sold over 3 million copies as of February of this year. And it sold more than 2.34 million copies in its first week alone, marking the highest initial sales of ENHYPEN. Romance Untold is also doing very well on the global charts. The album ranked the highest among K-pop artists in the International Association of Recording Industry at number 2 and number 4 respectively on the 2024 Global Album Sales chart and the 2024 Global Album Chart. The album also ranked 9th in the album rankings and 10th in the combined album rankings of Japan's Oricon annual ranking of 2024. Based on the explosive popularity of this Romance Untold album, ENHYPEN recorded 5.45 million cumulative album sales last year alone. And now this is very impressive, as only 3 K-pop artists, 17 Stray Kids, and ENHYPEN have exceeded 5 million cumulative annual sales in 2024.
Very impressive achievements by ENHYPEN. And lastly, we have a story on an animation film.
We're going to talk about an animation film, Exorcism Chronicles: The Beginning. On Thursday, it surpassed 400,000 viewers, and the film, released on February 21st, is an occult blockbuster depicting the beginning of an epic battle between exorcists with supernatural abilities and an ultimate evil. Its main target is adult, but the film is for 12 years and older. The film is based on the novel of the same title, which was first published in 1993 and has since sold over 10 million copies. Now, this film, Exorcism Chronicles: The Beginning, is a unique combination of horror film and an animation, so it's intriguing a lot of audiences who are responding with great enthusiasm. And with the enthusiasm from these viewers, the film is expected to rank #1 among 2025 Korean animations.
Oh, so an excellent film for both young and old. Thank you very much, Bella, for today's stories, and stick around.
Yes, I'll stick around.
And now it's time to go over to our AI anchor, Ari, for other culture-related news.
Hello and welcome to your AI guide to the latest cultural updates from Korea. Here's our top story. Blooming season has arrived for spring flowers in South Korea. The late cold snap delayed the spring bloom, which resulted in disappointing flower festivals earlier this month. but with daytime temperatures rising to between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius this week. Plum flower buds have started to bloom. Yangsan and Gimhae cities of South Gyeongsang Province say their plum blossoms are expected to be in full bloom starting Friday, and expect many visitors to celebrate the arrival of spring along the Nakdong River. The Cheongwade Foundation announced on Thursday that it will launch this year's Cheongwade Week, which refers to a series of weekend events and performance programs organized by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism and the Korea Tourism Organization to promote the Cheongwade area and its cultural heritage. The first in the lineup of performances, set to run from March to September, is the Gukguk, or the traditional Korean all-female theater, titled Princess Seonhwa, which tells the love story of Prince Seodongwak Baekje and Princess Seonhwa of Silla. On weekdays when there are no performances, there will also be an exhibition to further explore the background of Gukguk. Expo Chicago is set to host more than 170 galleries from 36 countries, from April 24th to 27th. Since its acquisition by Frieze in 2023, it will be the first time for Expo Chicago to partner with the Galleries Association of Korea in an initiative supported by Korea's Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism and Korea Arts Management Service. Its 2025 edition will feature 20 Korean galleries in the main sector, including Seoul-based galleries BHAK, Gallery Baton, and Kumsan Gallery. Korea's 20 galleries will bring together 300 artworks by 90 artists, of which 80% are Korean artists. According to the Galleries Association of Korea, the funding to participate in the fair is partly supported by the Korea Arts Management Service. That's all from me. Keep it tuned to the Culture Wave.
It's time for the latest in K-Sports. We have everything covered from football to baseball to curling today. And our sportscaster, Jason Lee, is joining us in the studio for that. Hello, Jason. Happy Friday.
Jason. Happy Friday,
Happy
TGIF.
Friday.
And Jason, we're going to kick off with some action in football. South Korea's national men's football team is going to be busy next week because of the qualifiers for the World Cup next year. So they're going to play against Oman here in Korea, and then the following week against Jordan. So what can you tell us about these upcoming events?
Yeah, these are a couple of big games for Korea. As mentioned, Oman on Thursday night. That's at Goyang Stadium, which is just north of Seoul. And it's been almost 4 months now since Korea last played. That was a 1-1 draw against Palestine. They're actually the only team that Korea has not beaten in this fourth round so far. So Korea has a 3-point lead atop the Group B standings right now. And more importantly, they have a 5-point lead against third place Jordan. And what that means is if Korea wins these next 2 games at home, then they will indeed clinch a berth to next year's World Cup. And that's despite having 2 more qualifying games left to be played in June, since the top 2 teams of the group earn automatic berths for next summer's World Cup.
It's always better to have that secured as early as possible. So.
Absolutely. And it also means that you can give some of the bench warmers or lesser players a little more playing time. You can rest some of your star players. You're not going to be feeling as bad asking for Son Heung-min for every single game from Tottenham.
Right, that too.
I'll definitely be watching the game next week. And now I want to talk about the roster that Hong Myung-bo has put together. I heard that most of the players that he selected are players playing in Europe right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think typically, he has a pretty good balance of both. But right now, the usuals, Son Heung-min, Lee Kang-in, Kim Min-jae, they're included as always. But the additions to the lineup of note, Yang Yeon-jun, who plays for Celtic in the Scottish Premier League, and of course, Yang Min-hyuk, who's signed to Tottenham, but currently on loan to Queen's Park Rangers right now. We've talked a lot about him on the show recently. So these are some of the more high-profile additions, I guess you could say. And there's no guarantee yet that either of those guys are even going to get into the 2 games or even make the final roster to be a possibility of playing. But it does show that head coach Hong Myung-bo is acknowledging that they both have been playing strong games in Europe as of late. I mentioned before that Yang Min-hyuk has been starting for QPR and has looked good from the games that I've seen. And of course, this time last year, he would have been considered a K-League domestic player, but now he actually is in Europe, which is why he's considered part of the European roster. But I'd like to see both of these guys get into games. Ideally, if they win Thursday night against Oman, then it'll, again, take off some pressure for the Jordan game. Maybe they can get some of the other players into the roster and, some more game time.
Let's look forward to all the star players and also maybe those who are not that familiar to the regular citizens or the world to all play in those games that we're looking forward to in the next couple of weeks. But Jason, we're going to move over to baseball now. A couple of weeks ago, you mentioned that the worst scenario for Kim Hae-sung would be that he starts the year in the minors because his hitting hasn't improved during springtime training. But it looks like that's the case.
Yeah, that actually is the case. Kim Hae-sung will start his season in AAA after struggling out of the gun in spring training. Now, he was hitting just .207 when the decision was made a couple of days ago. But I do want to point out that he has played much better over this past week than compared to the week before. And I think things might have been different if the Dodgers weren't starting the season Tuesday in Japan. So that basically meant that the Dodgers and the Cubs basically had to make roster decisions a week earlier than every other team in the majors. And, Kim Hae-sung getting off to that slow start, it really hamstrung him, both offensively as well as defensively. And considering that he's been hitting much better as of late, including a home run, I might add. And, once the team returns from Japan, they're going to have a little bit of downtime before the rest of the season gets underway for the rest of the league. So I wouldn't be surprised, because Kim Hae-sung's going to be playing during that time with his minor league club. I wouldn't be surprised if he's quickly going to join the Dodgers at some point in April. Who knows, maybe even a few days before that when the rest of the league starts the regular season. So yes, he is down with the AAA team right now. He did not join the team to go to Japan, but I don't think this is terrible news. It's sort of perhaps somewhat expected.
Let's give him a little bit of more time. As you said, we saw that recent improvement.
Yes, we'll definitely keep an eye out for him. I want to talk about Lee Jung-woo as well. How is he doing in the Major League? How is he doing in the exhibition games in the past, recently? And is there any other Korean players in Major League that we could, look out for?
Yeah, first, let's start off with Lee Jung-woo, as you mentioned. He has been one of the hotter hitters during spring training so far. He was 0 for 3 today, but he's still hitting .300 on the exhibition schedule with a pair of home runs already. So you can tell that he's getting much more comfortable, especially that he's now hitting out of the 3 hole, which is where he typically hit when he played in the KBO. So last year, the first month that he did play, he was the leadoff hitter, but now he's hitting third in the lineup. Once again, much more familiar to him, and he's swinging the hot bat with a couple of home runs as well. You did ask, is there anyone else to keep an eye on? And the guy that I'm going to bring up here is a guy named Bae Ji-hwan of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's been up and down the last 3 years between AAA and the majors, and he really didn't have a starting role going into spring training, but he might have been able to force the issue a bit. He's now hitting .435 in 11 games with a home run and 3 doubles. And he can play both in the outfield as well as the infield. So he does have some positional versatility. If there is a hole to fill due to an injury or someone being cold, he can get in there and play pretty much anywhere on the field. And he's also quite fast. He's got 33 steals in 150 major league games, basically a full season. So he's got some skills that he can offer the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. They're an up-and-coming team as well. So Bae Ji-hwan, certainly someone to look for perhaps this season.
So when it gets warmer and spring is coming up, we do talk about baseball a lot, but we might think we won't be mentioning a lot of sports on the ice when March comes up. But we do have a very important game on the ice coming up this weekend, the Women's World Curling Championships, in fact. Now, we talked about curling a lot during the Asian Winter Games in Halloween recently because, of course, South Korea's women's team has received a gold medal there. And the team is going to be back in action starting this weekend, as I said, in Uijeongbu. So how are Korea's chances of, again, winning a gold in curling?
That's right. Uijeongbu is going to be hosting the World Championships. And if you're in Korea or going to be visiting in Korea over the next week, go visit Uijeongbu. I remember 15 years ago saying that Korea should invest all of their resources for sports into the sport of curling. And, this is a sport that requires accuracy, strategy, and execution. These are all things that Koreans excel at when it comes to other games and sports like archery, go, esports, golf. In large part because of the 2018 Olympics in Pyeongchang, Koreans have now fallen in love with the sport of curling, and for good reason, because they are indeed good at it. Surprise, surprise. You remember back in 2018, the Garlic Girls,
right.
Went on to win a silver medal at the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. Well, right now, it's a new squad that is skipped by Kim Sae-ron. She led her team to a gold medal at the Asian Winter Games in Harbin just recently, as mentioned. And that, could be a vault to maybe push her, give them some confidence to be going into these World Championships. So this is going to be played in Uijeongbu. So Korea's got home ice advantage, you could say. And Korea has actually finished in the top 3 in the last 5 World Championships. So this is a country that really doesn't have much of a curling history until recently, but I think the sport has really, latched on with Koreans, the athletes, as well as fans. And I think hopefully with the home ice advantage, it won't be too long until Korea is stepping at the top of the podium. I think, typically it's like Canada, Switzerland, maybe Sweden are your powerhouses in the world. They're all going to be here.
The cold places.
The cold places, right, exactly. They're all going to be here, but like I said, I think having the gold medal at the Asian Winter Games, and really they dominated throughout the tournament, by the way, on the women's side. I think hopefully that can give them even more confidence, and just maybe, Kim Sae-ron and her team might be able to bring Korea their first ever gold medal at a Women's World Championship.
Let's hope
Fighting.
so. Like we have been shouting Youngmi in the past. Now it should be Inzi, and her team, of course. Now, before we let you go, Jason, we have another former sportscaster, of course, stars here at Arirang. So Jason, we also have KBO coming up next. It's coming up soon. So do you have a quick preview on KBO, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, certainly there's going to be the season opener coming the week after. And, normally, I'm on here every 2 weeks, but I'm actually going to be here next Friday as well to give a full preview on the season. Obviously, the Kia Tigers coming off of the championship last year, Kim Do-young having the big season that he had. I think the big question for me personally is, can he repeat what he did? Because he really took the league by storm. It was a breakout, but it was a record-breaking breakout. So, I mean, going from 0 to 100 and 2.9 sort of a field, just crazy sort of stuff where he's getting attention from Major League Baseball already at this point. So I think my big question is, how is he going to do next year? Or I should say this year. And will he be able to lead Kia to another championship? There's Chae Hyung-woo, who's another year older. They've got some other veterans that are aging as well. So I think Kia, it'll be interesting. Can they hold on for one more championship with an aging squad and, a breakout star? But we'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see, and we're looking forward to next week, Jason.
Yeah.
And thank you for those sports updates.
Oh, one last thing I'll quickly mention.
Sure.
Kyler Murray, for NFL fans, he's in Korea right now. He's actually a quarter Korean. He's the only person in the world to ever be drafted in the first round of Major League Baseball and the NFL draft. He's in Korea right now because he's a quarter Korean. So you'll probably see him on a lot of variety shows over the next week or so.
Definitely worth mentioning. Thank you very much, Jason. See you next week.
Anytime.
And thank you, Bella, as always. Have a great weekend.
Yes, I'll see you back next week.
Thank you for spending the past half an hour with us on the Culture Wave. Have a pleasant weekend, maybe with some outdoor activities or cozy at home. And join us again next week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Korea time.